Hi, this is Jim Ave, and I am the professor for Kinesiology 777A Issues in Kinesiology. I want to welcome you to our class. I'm going to just provide an overview of our class in this announcement, and I have a few other announcements about our significant assignments in our course. Most students I've had as a student in my classes before, but there might be one or two of you that have never had me as a professor before. So hopefully you can get to know me as your teacher through these various announcements. As I like to do with all my classes, I like to start our class with a verse from or a passage from Scripture from the Bible. And for this class, I have Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6 from the New International Version. And this is, I believe, written by King Solomon. And he wrote, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight." I like this particular couple of verses from Proverbs because it tells us what God expects from us. He expects us to trust him with everything, which means all our heart. That's what Solomon is talking about. And also not to lean to our knowledge of how things may be, but trust in God and how things may turn out. Acknowledge him. What's that mean? What he means is to acknowledge that God is in control and that he is much bigger and greater than us, and trust him with how things may turn out. And then he'll make the things turn out the way he wants them to turn out, which will be ultimately for our good. All right. So our class for our class this 8 weeks, we are in the spring 2015. Our class starts March 16th and ends on May 8th. And I have my contact information there. I have it blacked out for our presentation, but hopefully you've downloaded the syllabus and you can see that you can actually see my phone number. I have my cell phone number and my email. As far as my cell phone goes, just limit it to 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. On that, you can text me. I do answer text. Just tell me who you are when you text, because I'm not going to know who you are if you just send me a text. You can also, my office hours, I'm on campus more than those hours, but I am typically in my office during those hours. Some Tuesdays and Thursdays I have meetings in the afternoon, but I am on campus quite a bit. We can set up a time to meet via phone, email, or whatever, phone, or in person if you live in the Fresno area, if you have questions about our class. And what is this class about? Course description there, you can read that on your own, but what we're going to do is we're going to look at several different kinesiology issues. And when I mean kinesiology, I'm talking about multiple different disciplines within our area. I'm talking about physical education. So if you're a PE teacher, talking about coaching, talking about sports medicine or athletic training. That's what I do. That's my background. Also talking about athletics in general, but also sports administration, the business side of athletics. So all those different areas within kinesiology. We're going to look at some various issues, topics within our areas of kinesiology, some controversial topics. We'll discuss that when we talk about our issue debate assignment. But we'll also look at some areas of research that I'm interested in, which is called strengths research. We'll talk about that assignment. And we'll talk about some leadership issues within our area. So that's our class in a nutshell. Hopefully it'll come more clear as we go through this lecture and other lectures. Our mission statement for the Masters of Arts in Kinesiology is to prepare you, the professional, to become exemplary and scholarly practitioners in kinesiology by providing you opportunities for academic, social, spiritual, and professional and personal development. So hopefully we actually do that through our program. And then our program student learning outcomes, which you're going to be asked to reflect on in one of our assignments in this class, are here on page 1 and page 2 of the syllabus. And these were adopted from this NASP document, which the NASP stands for the National Association of Sports and Physical Education. It's appropriate not only for PE. I've adopted them from the PE, this PE document, for advanced physical education graduate programs. I believe they're adaptable to all areas of kinesiology, athletic training, sport administration, PE, and coaching. So you'll be asked later in this class to reflect on how you have actually satisfied these particular, or a particular PSLO or multiple program student learning outcomes through one of the assignments in this class. So we'll talk about that in a future lecture. So our class, this class is 8 weeks. This class will, every week we're going to be doing a lot of forum discussions in this course. So get used to that. So our first week, we don't have a lot to do. The first week, as you can see in Moodle, there is a forum called, I call it the Educational Paradigm Forum. And what you're going to do is you're going to watch a couple videos by Dr. Robinson, Ken Robinson. One video is, I kind of think it's cool, where as the guy, Dr. Robinson, is speaking, you'll see somebody drawing what he's talking about on a whiteboard. That's the shorter version of that speech. And then there is also the longer version of the speech without the whiteboard. I want you to watch both videos, and then there's some questions that I have in the forum that I want you to answer. As a reminder, forums are considered class time, and you're expected to have a thought out response, and you need to support your responses with references, and so make sure that you do that. Make sure that your responses are, I think I have in that particular assignment, each answer to each question should be a minimum of 1 paragraph. And again, a paragraph needs to be fully developed. And you can see the details that I have in the forums in the class. So that's all you have in week 1. You're going to probably want to start doing some other things in week 1 because the next week you have... let me get to the textbooks. Maybe it'll be a little bit clearer if I get to the textbooks. The required textbooks for this class is going to be, first one is Blanchard, Fowler, and Hawkins, the Self-Leadership in a 1-Minute Manager textbook. And so during week 2, you have an assignment due at the end of week 2. So during week 1 and week 2, you should be reading that textbook. Your other textbooks, one is by Buckingham and Clifton, Now Discover Your Strengths. And then the other strengths book is by Clifton, Anderson, and Schreiner. It's called Strengths Quest, Discover and Develop Your Strengths in Academics, Career, and Beyond. These 2 textbooks are part of what's called the Strengths Finder Evaluation assignment. They're pretty long, so you should start reading those now. An assignment is due in the end of week 7. When I sent the email out about registering for this class and the textbooks for this class, I said to make sure only buy a brand new textbook of the Strengths Quest textbook, because in that particular assignment, or in that particular text, you are given a code to take the Strengths Quest assessment. It's also called a Strengths Finder assessment evaluation. There's multiple ways it's called. So you'll need to take the Strengths Quest. I believe I have that due by week 4. The Strengths Finders printout is due Sunday, April 12th. So you want to get that done pretty early. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes to do it. And so you'll do that particular assignment and print it out. And again, I'll have a different lecture on that particular assignment. I just want to go over the textbook and just make sure that you buy a brand new book, because if you buy a used book, the code's been used, you've wasted money, because the code can only be used once with that book. All right, back to our assignment, our class schedule. So week 2, you'll be answering. We'll have a lot of thread discussions. Have your initial post on Sunday to March 22nd. Have to read and respond a certain number of other students' responses. You can respond back to them. I have stuff that you were supposed to respond to in a form, and then that form will end by Friday. Then you have the self-leadership assignment due the Sunday, March 29th, and then you have an initial post also that March 29th. It's very similar to what you've written in your response, the assignment that you'll turn in to me. In week 3, we have Good Friday and Resurrection that Friday and Sunday. There are no classes that Friday or Saturday or Sunday. And so only thing that you're really going to be doing during that week is having that threaded discussion on the self-leadership. And that'll end by Thursday, and then there's no class Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Then, starting week 4 is when we start doing our issue debate presentations. Excuse me. And again, I'm going to have an announcement about that particular assignment. But basically what's going to happen, and I will give you a quick overview of this particular assignment. Each student will pick one controversial topic, a kinesiology topic that you will present. You have the choice of either writing a paper or actually doing some kind of audio presentation. And so I have already assigned the weeks for each student. You can find that in the Moodle class. There's a link to your assigned week. Say that you're week 4. So by the end of week 4, you'll have to post your presentation in the forum. And so that's due at the end of week 4. And then during week 5, each student will listen to or read the assigned students' presentations, and you have to pick a side of the topic that you are for on that. There's going to be a pro side and con side on that topic. So let me give you an example of a topic. Should we pay student athletes, college student athletes? There's the pro side, yes, we should, and the con side, no, we shouldn't. And the person who is presenting that in week 4, for example, will pick let's say they pick, yes, we should pay student athletes. Then you have to decide what side of the issue that you are going to be on. Are you going to be on the pro side or the con side? If you're on the con side, you have to defend why we shouldn't pay student athletes, and support it with articles, journal articles, and research. Or you can be on the pro side. You think you should pay student athletes. It doesn't really matter. But during week 5 is when that debate will take place. During your initial response back to the week 4 people's debate is due by April 15th, tax day, by 11:55 p.m. And then this debate will end by April 17th by 11:55 p.m. So that's what's going on week 5. Then in addition, the week 5 students' presentations are due by the end of week 5. The other thing I said earlier is in week 4, your strength finder's printout is due in week 4. So we do that in week 4, 5, and 6. We do that kind of issue debate during weeks 4, 5, and 6, and through end of week 7, or through to week 7. Then in week 8, get my tongue working. Sorry, my brain's all over the place. At the end of week 7, your strengths finder evaluation paper is due. So I would suggest that you start working on your strengths finder paper now, in week 1, since you have a couple of easy weeks at the beginning of the class. And then in week 8, the only thing that you have due is the final issue debate reflection paper, which I'll talk about in that presentation. So that's our class schedule for the 8 weeks. It goes by quick, as all 8-week classes do. So stay on top of things. Got all the assignments and materials there. Our signature assignment, as you all know, we've been in the program long enough to know that the signature assignment is the assignment that is designed to assess your meeting the program student learning outcomes and a course student learning outcomes that we described above. So that's our class in a nutshell. And in the syllabus, I have detailed descriptions of the assignments, and plus I'll make, like I said, audio announcements for each one. I'm going to scroll down. Make sure you read the assignment descriptions so you know what I expect. Also, a couple of the assignments, I do have rubrics that you have access to there in Moodle. Just a couple last minute things to cover. Rating rubrics, I try to cover this in every single one of my announcements as a reminder that a C grade in this graduate program means that you have not met the minimum requirements criteria for all course/assignment requirements expected from a student studying at the graduate level. So if you earn a C in any course in a graduate program, you have to repeat that course. And that puts you out of sequence, and it'll probably make your graduation date later than you expected. So don't earn a C in this course. You can read all this, how much time this class should take. A typical graduate course, a 3-unit graduate course, should be 90 units, and this is longer than 90 units. I don't know if it's really 136.5 hours. Does it really take 2.5 hours to read the self-leadership book? Probably. Now Discover Your Strengths book, 17 hours. That's probably a little bit long. Same with the Strengths Quest, those type of things. But it's an estimate. For all your assignments that you turn in, paper assignments you turn in to me, not into forums, but actual paper assignments, make sure you include a title page. Include your name, my name, the course name and number, the date, the title for the assignment, and make sure that all your assignments use a 1-inch margin, that they're double spaced, provide page numbers. Now, this whole double spacing thing, paragraph spacing, for whatever reason in Microsoft Word, it's defaulted at this setting. It doesn't matter if it's single or double. I hate this spacing after 10-point thing, so get rid of it. Just turn it to 0. And just don't have that 10-point space anymore. You'll use double spacing for all your assignments. Late assignments, if it's late, 25% grade reduction. Now, if something's going on in your life, please let me know. We're all adults here. If you get sick, someone in your family gets sick, death in the family, and hopefully nothing like that happens. But if something happens that is going to cause you not to do the work for that week, please let me know. Send me an email, text me, call me, let me know what's going on. We're adults. We can work together. Now, if it's a habitual thing, that's a different story. A one-time thing, I understand that, and I'll work with you. I don't like reducing students' grades because of being late. Okay. The only reason that's been put in there is because very early in the grad program, students were turning student assignments late all the time, and it's unprofessional. And so we had to make a decision. This is the decision that we decided to do. There's a professor in our program that if it's late, you get a 0. So my expectations of you, the student, this is pretty standard, my expectations for all my classes to be successful in our graduate program. This is an 8-week course. It's 3 units. If we are on campus taking this class, you would come to campus 4 hours a week. And for every 1 hour that you're in on class, you're supposed to be doing 2 to 3 hours outside of work. So 3 hours or 4 hours times, let's just say 2 is 8. So you're supposed to be doing 12 hours a week on your coursework. That's why I put 10 to 20 hours per week doing classwork. This can be spent time doing research, reading, responding to threaded discussions, and writing. Again, you don't have to be in the Moodle class all that time, but you should be doing some kind of classwork every single day. I really suggest that you schedule time in your schedule that you're doing something in our class. An hour here and there every single day of the week will make your weekends less stressful. I do expect you to check your FPU email, especially Monday through Friday, because that's how I communicate with you. If you don't check that email, forward it to an email that you actually do check. There's a movie or a video inside the Moodle orientation class. At this point in the program, you should know how to do that. I would also suggest that you check the Moodle class site at least every other day, just because this class, as I said earlier, you have a lot of forms. I do expect you to read and follow the assignment directions. I have tried to be detailed as I possibly can, but if you're not sure what I'm asking, please ask. That's what I'm here to do, is help you with that. I've already talked about the form assignments. In every one of my classes, I have a Q&A form to get help in class. I really prefer that you start there versus sending me an email. Please start with the Q&A form, because more than likely, if you have questions about assignments, other students in the class have the same question. So instead of me answering 5 different emails with the same question, it's better if you just post it there. If you still don't understand what I'm expecting, that's when me and you should talk a little bit more, either on the phone or an email, whatever works best for you. If it's about grades, those type of things, or personal stuff, that's when me and you should talk directly. All right. Having problems with Moodle, there's information to get help with Moodle or any other tech stuff. And all the different university policy and procedures that you may need to know, it can be here at this link. So I hope that you enjoy our class time together. This is actually kind of a fun class. I enjoy the issue debates, just to see what kind of things that you all will discuss. And I don't agree with what everybody says, but that's okay. It's okay not to agree with one another. We just got to be nice to one another when we're disagreeing. We should be able to argue with one another, disagree with one another, and still respect one another. And also like the strength stuff that we'll talk about in our class. I get to know you, and you get to know yourself a little bit better through that particular assignment. So I hope we have a good 8 weeks together, and I look forward to our time in class together.